Hello, my name is Matthew, and I've been working my way through the Norton anthology. And the reason I picked it up at all was to read the Canterbury Tales, or to read some of Chaucer. And I had a reason for that. And the my thought process was there's sort of a theory behind it. For years, I've wanted to learn a new language. I've always wanted to speak French or read French, and for over a decade, I've on my own. I've practiced. I've had workbooks and flashcards, um, and I would always kind of give up pretty quickly. I'm always working by myself. I wasn't terribly disciplined. I wasn't seeing results, and I would just move on to another interest. But through the years, I would sort of switch around. So it would occur to me that maybe I should learn Italian. Maybe Italian will click with me better. And I would start making Italian flashcards. And then, that wouldn't work, and I would go, really, I should be learning German. Apparently, English is a Germanic language. There's a closer connection, and maybe I'll go with German. And then I would think to myself, Latin. I need to learn Latin. It's the common language for all of them. The smart thing would be to learn Latin, and then I'll learn all of the languages. And I'm on this sort of idiotic merry-go-round, like a quixotic journey. Uh, and I've been on the apps. I'll use the apps now, and I don't know anything. So it occurred to me, maybe what I could do, instead of jumping to a different language altogether, is to read Chaucer in the Middle English. So my thinking was it would sort of be like reading a different language on training wheels. So it's a little foreign, a little um, common to me. And the reason I started thinking that was I was reading Toilers of the Sea by Victor Hugo, and he was describing the islands on the Guernsey Channel, and the people on this island spoke a mixture of English and French. And so, there's like these blurred lines geographically, and then blurred lines through time. And I thought, maybe if I could read Middle English, I'll get a sense of what it's like to read a different language. Maybe something could click in my head that would um, help me, maybe. So, all of that being said, the past day or two, past 2 days, I read the General Prologue of the Canterbury Tales by Chaucer, and I read it in the original Middle English. And it's a bizarre experience. Uh, it must have been what it was like for me at some point in my youth, when I was a child growing up. All of the times that I looked at a page and only really understood half the words. I don't remember. I don't have those memories, but I'm confident that I had those experiences, looking at something and having it just be like slightly off. And it's tough. It's tough reading, but there's enough that's familiar. And if I read it out loud, so phonetically you could hear things that might not look right on the page. You say it out loud, and you can hear what it means. Uh, and the general prologue um, is just the narrator giving off a whole bunch of characters. He's describing maybe 24 people. All these people, um, and a lot of it didn't sink in with me. As far as that goes, it reminded me of going to a party and immediately being confronted with a horrible host who wants to walk you around and introduce you to every single person that's at the party and then walks away. And the end result is you don't remember anybody's names. And it's only till the end of the prologue, I could be wrong because it is difficult reading, but I felt like I didn't understand why they were all being introduced until the end. And that might also just be because I know the general story. They're going on this pilgrimage and they're all going to tell stories. And I don't know. I mean, it's difficult and frustrating, and then sometimes amusing. Like I'll read just the beginning. So this is the prologue, the general prologue. When that April with his showers suit, the draught of March hath pursed to the root, and bathed every vein in switch liquor, of which virtue engendered in its floor, then Zephyrus eke with his sweet breath inspired hath in every holt and heath, the tender crops and young sown, hath in the ram his half cores yawn, and smale falls making melody that sleepin and all the night with open ye, so pricketh him nature in her courages, then longin folk to goon on pilgrimages, and palmers for to seeken strange strawns, to fern haws couth and sundry lawns, and specially from every shire's end of England to Canterbury they wend. So it's fun to read, and this is my expectation. I probably naturally understood about half of it. The pages are annotated, so there's footnotes at the bottom to fill in obvious gaps. What I would like to do is go back to it, reread the same parts, and if I can be disciplined, I'm not a very disciplined person, but the idea that if I can sight read it, I don't think it's going to help me learn another language in reality, but I do think it will help me be a better reader in my language, because when I'm reading a book and I'm really enjoying it, and you have that feeling of being transported into a different world, the moment that happens, my reading accelerates. I'm not worrying about the words. Everything just sort of clicks, and it's just like a stream of comprehension. And even when I'm reading poetry that I'm familiar with, and intentionally reading slowly, there are still moments of cruise control that I'm probably unaware of. And what I found with reading Chaucer is, since it is a little unfamiliar, it's very unfamiliar. I can't not pay attention to a word, to an exacting degree. I have to really pay close attention to have any understanding of line by line. And I read this very slowly, and I did my very best to put all of my focus and energy on every word. And I probably still only understood half of it, or less than half of it. And having that training, I feel like could have a very beneficial side effect to my general reading, and also like maybe understanding roots or something. Um, it does seem like more of a chaotic language. The rules aren't evident at the moment. Um, so yeah, that's it. I read the General Prologue, and as it happens, I got I got this in the mail. I ordered this maybe 2 weeks ago, and it's the Canterbury Tales in the Middle English, and it's the whole thing. So it's a penguin. And look at the size of this thing. It's gigantic. Um, so I don't know. I do know it will have to be significantly easier for me to read. In order for me to sit down and read this thing, um, there is gonna have to be um, a level of enjoyment that Chaucer brings to me, because I know myself. I got 1,000 things I can read, um, but I'm hopeful. I think I think it'll be fun. So, yeah, that's it. The Canterbury Tales, Chaucer. Um, and I'm not reading this thing all straight through. This will be something that I'll maybe Sunday afternoons. I'll designate a certain portion for reading it, um, and I'm hoping when I get to the tales, there's more of a narrative. The prologue was really just a list of people, um, and describing their appearances. Um, so I'm imagining that when the stories kick in, it should be a little bit more exciting or funny, or a little adventures or whatever. Yeah, so that's it. The prologue of the Canterbury Tales by Chaucer. Um, Let me know what you think. Let me know if you've read it. Let me know what you think of my cockamamie theories and thoughts. And yeah, that's it. It's Daphne. Thank you for watching, and take care.